What up, guys? That Comic Awesome here with another review, doing Daredevil 5.99, about to hit the big 600s, I think in 2 weeks when this is released. And I've really been enjoying this run of Daredevil, and I started picking it up because of a DNC review. He suggested it. I definitely liked what I saw, so I picked it up, starting with the Legacy run. So again, I would personally recommend this as well. Move the needle on it. It's a fun story. It does a good job of giving you both sides of an issue. Now, granted, it does kind of make the comparison from of Trump to Wilson Fisk, but one, it does it in a I wouldn't say a lighter, I would say like a lighter tone, like a lighter. It doesn't shove it in your face. And Wilson Fisk is an established character that you can believe is acting the way he's acting, which definitely helps. But at the same time, you see kind of both sides of the story, where you have a lot of people liking what Fisk is doing, and of course then the superhero community, and then some others who don't like what he is doing. So I want to start off too. I like this cover, and it kind of sums up the story arc, or this issue, where you see kind of like Fisk everywhere and Daredevil not able to drown him out. So what's been happening so far is Matt is the deputy mayor of New York under Fisk. Fisk essentially gave him the job to keep him out of his way, to pretty much just bury him in paperwork and just busy work to make sure that Matt Murdock was kind of on his side. There is an inhuman serial killer named Muse who has come back. He escaped from Inhuman jail. He is back, and he is painting murals of heroes or vigilantes, but in a more positive light, whereas Fisk is trying to paint the superhero community as kind of dangerous to the people. And he's like, hey, look, I'm the mayor. I'll protect you. We don't need these outsiders coming in and doing the job of hardworking policemen and women, which makes sense. So at the end of the last issue, Muse was painting a mural. Matt had warned Fisk that, hey, the normal cops are not equipped to handle this situation. Let me contact Daredevil, and an off-the-record thing, we'll go, me and some heroes will go and apprehend Muse. Fisk said no, the police will take care of it. So as Muse was painting this mural, the police show up, and he kills all of them. Kills 6 of them. So that's pretty much where we pick up. And they start calling them the Soho Six. And since it was under a mural of Punisher, Frank Castle's getting blamed for the murder. So you get kind of the good catch-up page. I kind of like the shadowed art. And that's another thing I really liked about at least the last 2 issues, when Garney and Milla took over. The art and the coloring, I really like this kind of simplistic art, but then you have the coloring that really does it justice, that kind of gives you the depth and the shadow of kind of the situation and the area, and there are other really good examples in this book. So we start off, and Daredevil's kind of meditating, and he's thinking Muse is a sensory void. So wherever there is like no sound or anything, that's where Muse is, and he's trying to search the city for spots that are void of any sounds or scents or anything. but all he keeps getting is like Fisk like news everywhere. And this does a good job of kind of catching everyone up on what's going on. The fact that Fisk is blaming Frank Castle for it, since it was a mural of him, even though it is signed by Muse and obviously painted by Muse. And of course, he's doing the mayor thing. People are kind of, happy that he's taking action against, he put the pin on a vigilante and he's like, we got to get rid of him. People are like, yeah, that's what we need to do. Again, propaganda-ish, but still fits the character, makes sense. So Matt keeps looking for it. And I like this. So there's, press conferences, like obviously it's kind of splitting communities, whether you agree with him or not. But then, he's saying here about the superheroes, he needs to beat us, and he's using the strongest weapon he's got to do it. And he's like, we will not live in fear. And I love this panel. Again, it kind of has that simplistic kind of art to it, where, it's hard lines, and then you kind of just have the detail fill in, but the coloring and the shadow is really good. I love how, it looks like a flat red, but then when you look at it, there is so much detail in the actual coloring of it. So then Daredevil isn't able to find him. He starts getting a bloody nose. He's sitting there with Blindspot, which unfortunately this kind of does do the trope that a lot of Marvel books have started. I don't even say a lot. Mainly Spider-Man, where it's like you can't be the main character in your own book, which Daredevil is front and center here, but you do have a good chunk of the story pinned over to Blindspot as well, which it does make sense. He has had previous run-ins with Muse, so it kind of it kind of makes sense. But I bought this because this guy's on the cover. Maybe if Blindspot had his own comic, I might pick it up if it's interesting. So anyway, Matt's kind of pissed they can't find him. Blindspot's like, hey, look, you take care of Mayor Fisk. I don't even care who the mayor is. Like, whatever you need to do. He's like, I got business. And I love this response. So he's like, look, there's something I need to finish. He's like, what do you need to finish? He's like, you're not going after Muse alone. Listen, revenge can feel like the only thing that matters, but I've been down that road. It's empty. Even if you get what you want, what you think you want, it doesn't change the past. It's still the past. And then, again, best response ever. Okay, note it. When I read that, I was like, damn, he just doesn't give one crap about anything. He's just like, yeah, okay. And then he says, but do you ever think maybe I just don't want Muse killing anyone else? Which, again, it's kind of like, he wants to do it for revenge, but that's the best answer is like, hey, look, I just don't want anything bad to happen the way it happened to me. And then again, these are probably, again, look at the coloring on that. You really get the emotion. Fisk looks really good there. So Matt goes to confront him. The secretary's like, hey, you can't go in there. He's like, what? Sorry, can't hear you. And Fisk said, I thought you were blind, not deaf. And he's like, who can remember? So he starts confronting Fisk about, the Soho Six and how those officers died because he didn't heed his warning. And Fisk is still kind of going with the Frank Castle did it approach. So then after that, he's like, what do you want, Mr. Murdoch? And he said, I want you to stop focusing on the wrong problem, stop demonizing the heroes. A serial killer's on the loose in your city. And I'm telling you again that ordinary law enforcement isn't equipped to handle this. 6 good officers died to prove me right, and it didn't have to happen. Tell the police to coordinate with the heroes to take down Muse. they have the skill and the powers pretty much to do so. What I want is no one else. What I want is no one else to die. And he's like, I see. So again, there's this really good confrontation, and I love Fist's response. He pretty much is holding a rally. Again, look at the art, the lines to me in this, so simple, but the shadowing and the coloring, and in this panel too, I like how you have two definite characters, and then the office is just like kind of a splash in the background. So he's holding a rally that will that he pretty much wants to show a united front. So he's like, either you're there to show that we're a united front, or you can quit and you're pretty much cut off from any little influence you had over me and my policies. He's like, and I'll make sure you never work in this city again. So Matt's like, fine, I'll be there. Then there's some stuff with Blindspot I want to kind of skip because I want to get to another point really quick. So Blindspot is coming up with a plan to get Muse. So then this is the point I want to bring up. So there's still the thing about the painting of Daredevil right outside Fist's office. And so he calls Wesley and he's like, okay, Wesley, take down the murals. And Wesley's like, I don't understand why you left them up for so long. He's like, well, after the Soho Six, they reminded, people that the vigilantes killed, somebody killed cops, and it kind of gave me the edge. But now, kind of on the eve of this event that I'm throwing, I just don't want to look at Daredevil outside my window. And Wesley's like, okay, we'll get sanitation on it. All right. That's all I'm going to show in this one, but there's a huge contradiction there. And I'm going to show you. This is from Daredevil 598. And this was the first day after the painting went up. Here's Wesley saying, Fist asks who is Muse, and he's like, you and everyone else want to know who he is. I hate to say it, but we don't have any idea who this guy is. We don't even know what he's using to paint the murals with. The sanitation department can't make a dent in it so far. So an issue ago, you've already been trying to take down the murals, yet here in this panel, on this issue, it's like you've left them up on purpose, and now the sanitation department, who a couple days ago couldn't even make a dent in it, are now going to try and somehow be successful in taking it out. That was my one little gripe. Again, I read that and I was like, wait a minute, there's something a little wrong there. But yeah, I recommend this this series. Definitely entertaining, and again, a really good classic Daredevil. But yeah, so subscribe over here, watch some more videos, hit me up in the comments, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.